Hey guys, have you ever wanted to go from this to this to this? Today, I'll be showing you the tips, tricks, and progressive exercises I use to train my daughter Emmy to going from her first pull-up to 5 pull-ups to be able to do whatever she was just doing there for pull-ups. So come check it out. Hey guys, and follow today along. I'm at the calisthenics park and I'll be filming a video to show you guys how to do your first pull-up, how to get better at pull-ups, and how to go from 1 pull-up to 2 pull-ups to 3 pull-ups to 5 pull-ups to 10 pull-ups. So this is intended for the person who's just getting started at pull-ups and wants to learn how to get stronger at them, get up to about 10 reps or so. And these are some of the great exercises and also tricks and tips that I'll be showing you to help progress from 1 pull-up to 10 pull-ups, and also some things to consider that will actually help you accelerate faster in your pull-up journey. So the first exercise we're gonna do is simply the dead hang off the bar. This is great for your grip strength and then also just for stretching out in general as you get ready for doing pull-ups. So what you're gonna do is just hang off the bar and let your legs hang free off the ground. And I will demonstrate that right now. Here's the dead hang from the back and from the front. And a great trick here that will prevent you from swinging is to engage your core. So what you want to do is tighten your abs, point your toes, bring your feet and legs straight down and slightly in front of you, and squeeze your abs. This will really engage your core. It'll prevent you from swinging, and it also works your grip strength as all dead hangs. So I'll be dead hanging for 10, 15, 20, 30 seconds. I like to do this before my workouts, but as a beginner, this will just really help with your grip strength in general as you learn how to do your pull-up. Here's a side angle, really showing that hollow position where you're squeezing your abs and engaging your core, keeping your legs down in front of you, toes pointed. The second exercise you'll want to learn is the scapular shrug. So this is where you hang off the pull-up bar in the dead hang and basically just shrug your shoulder blades down and back, chest up, and it's going to activate your pulling muscles to get you ready to get in that pulling position. So this is simply an activation exercise that will get you used to doing your first pull-up. So the reason why this exercise is so important is when a lot of beginners try to do pull-ups, they're just pulling all with their arms. This shrug will help you activate your back muscles, which are obviously the bigger portion that will be contributing to the pull-up. So here's what the shrug looks like. Okay, I'm gonna bring my shoulder blades down and point my chest up. And you want to do this going from a dead hang into this shoulder shrug position, which is called an active hang. So learn the shoulder shrug, then dead hang to active hang. A great exercise to build up that strength to do pull-ups is to actually go into a gym and do lat pull-downs. It's almost the exact same motion as a pull-up, just using weight from the machine. And what's great about the lat pull down is you can very easily adjust the weight, right? So as you get stronger and stronger, you can bump it up, and it's simple. As you get closer and closer on that lat pull down machine to your own body weight, I would say when you can do the lat pull down machine with 70% of your body weight or so, you should be able to do body weight pull-ups. Then it's very easy to scale that lat pull down machine. So now we're gonna get on top of the pull-up bar. But before we get into that, I want to go through some tips and tricks in terms of hand placement that will help you in your pull-up journey. So these are generalized but fairly accurate or very accurate statements, especially for the majority of people. So the first one is if you go close grip and underhand. So underhand, this is supinated, also called a chin-up. It's easier than going pronated grip and wider, which is your traditional pull-up. The reason being is when you're using this grip, you're involving more of your biceps, which will help bring more muscles into the pull-up or the chin-up, okay? So if you're going overhand, this is relying more on your back muscles, and it's gonna be fairly difficult for the beginner. So as a beginner, chin-up versus pull-up. The next one is the width of your hands. So generally, a narrow or shoulder width grip is going to be the most optimal, especially as a beginner. The very wide grips, or the wider you go, that's gonna be difficult because it's very much isolating your lats as the pulling muscle there. And until you build up that strength, it's gonna be very difficult for most beginners. So as a beginner, you'll wanna start close or medium versus wide. Here are a few things you can do to get yourself on top of the bar. First one is gonna be an assisted rep or some sort of partial rep. So I don't have a box here or a low bar, but if I had a box or a low bar, I could use that box to get, halfway up the bar and then just finish up the rest of the movement with my pull, okay? So since I don't have that option here, I'm going to do a jumping assisted pull-up. So I'm going to jump and grab the bar to where, I grab it and my arms are half extended or so, and just pull up that last portion, which I can. Obviously, the more assistance you need, you'll have to jump higher and pull less. But as you get stronger, you would pull more of that movement, okay? So there you go. You can see I'm jumping into the pull-up, and I'm actually jumping the majority of that range of motion. And that's very easy, right? So as you get stronger, you just use less and less assistance to eventually you're pulling that whole range of motion. The next great movement to use when you're learning the pull-up is the hold at the top. And what's nice about this is you can combine that with your jump assisted pull-up. So what you do is you get on top of the bar and simply hold at the top with your chin over for as long as you can. Okay, and this is working all of those same pull-up muscles, holding this position at the top. So as you can hold longer and longer, it's very, very beneficial to your overall pull-up strength that will get you that first pull-up. And the last exercise you'll want to do as a pull-up progression before you're ready for your first pull-up is the pull-up negative. And I like to include this in combination with the other exercises I just showed you. So the partial rep pull-up, hold at the top, and then do the pull-up negative. This is essentially just lowering down slowly and controlled, really engaging those muscles that you use for the pull-up as you go on the descent. Okay, so I'll do it from the back and the front. Hold at the top, lower slowly. Okay, and if you combine those progressions, right? So you start with the dead hang, you do the shrugs, you do the partial rep pull-ups, you hold at the top, and you lower slowly. It's very simple, right? The less and less you need to do that partial rep, which you're gonna be improving with your dead hangs, your shrugs, and overall just getting stronger, the closer you are to that first full range of motion pull-up. So just work those, combine them, you got the pull-up in no time. So once you can do your first pull-up, if you really want to accelerate your progress, and I can't stress this enough, you need to do them very often in low effort quantities. Okay, so what I recommend is getting a pull-up bar at your house. I have these great portable pull-up handles from Dualnamic. Awesome, portable. I'll put a link in the video. But the more options you have to do a pull-up, the easier it is to get your reps in, right? So if you're looking to accelerate, I would just do a few reps every single day, every time you pass that pull-up bar. If you can only do 2 or 3 pull-ups, only do 2 or 3 pull-ups. But do it, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 times during the day as you see that pull-up bar. Just get those repetitions in. That'll really build that muscle control and memory, okay? And then the great thing is, which I recommend, is do your pull-ups with great form. So from the dead hang all the way up. When you're at your last rep or you struggle, just incorporate that top hold and the negative on that last rep only. Okay, and do that several times during the day. You're gonna accelerate really quickly. Okay, engage, boom, engage, boom. Hold at the top if this is my last rep, lower slowly. And just do that 10 times throughout the day every time you pass that pull-up bar. It's called greasing the groove. The Russians do it, and I mean, they're really strong. And the last tip that I have for really increasing your pull-ups as a beginner is remember back to what are the hardest to easiest grips to use, right? So the hardest is gonna be your wider overhand grip. Easier will be a standard underhand grip in the chin-up position. So what you can do is do your overhand grip pull-ups first. Then, as you get tired with those, move on toward the chin-up. So I'll demonstrate a set. So I'll start off with a overhand grip pull-up. Okay, I'm tired now. Another option, you can do a mixed grip. So one overhand, one underhand. You can change sides. And then the easiest will be both underhand. And if you want to work your biceps even more on this, curl your chin over the top at the end. One other frequently asked question people have about doing the pull-up is what to do with their legs when you're doing a pull-up. So there's pros and cons into your actual leg placement. If you're putting them down in front of you, behind you, knees bent, there's pros and cons to all of those methods, right? But what is universal is you want to be limiting your actual leg movement during the pull-up when you're using it to kick up for assistance, right? So there really should be no movement from your legs going upwards to help you with that pull-up. So I'll try to demonstrate what it looks like to do a kicking pull-up. Okay, so I'm not very good at that because I don't do those, but if you are doing those pull-ups, it's okay, right? It's okay if you have to kick up a little bit to help you at the beginning, but you should treat that as doing a partial rep pull-up the same way, right? When you're doing a partial rep pull-up, you're not going all the way down and maybe not going all the way up either, right? If you're doing a kicking pull-up, you're using your legs as assistance, right? So it's okay if you need to kick a few reps to increase your set or learn the movement, but that's not proper form, right? So you want to be limiting that movement from your legs to where it should just be strict, not using your legs at all, pulling entirely with your back and arms. So I'm back at my house. My phone died at the park, so I couldn't finish up the workout. And as I mentioned, one of the best ways to improve your pull-ups is just to do them frequently and more often. But remember, don't push yourself too hard on them. Just do a couple reps here and there, really get yourself in the rhythm. It's a body weight exercise, so it's not gonna be that strenuous if you just do reps throughout the day. So I'll do a few reps here with different grips. Okay, so that was wide grip. Now I'll go neutral. And neutral the other way. So just getting those reps throughout the day. Don't push yourself too hard, but get in a rhythm of doing a couple, 2, 3, 4 at a time, every time you see that pull-up bar, and make sure you have a lot of places you can do pull-ups. If you're at the gym, do pull-ups as a warm-up. Do it as a cool down. If you're at home, you have a pull-up bar, just do them more frequently throughout the day. Now I'll show you a couple accessory exercises you can do around the house to help you with your pull-ups. And if you're at the gym, obviously you can do it there as well. First one being the bicep curl. So This is great because, it's isolating and improving your bicep strength, which will help your pull-ups, especially in the chin-up. But even in your normal pull-up, having the stronger bicep will also help as well. It certainly doesn't hurt. Do these for stability. Hollow hangs from the bar. Okay, keep your legs down in front of you as I showed before and hang from the bar. And if you're a little bit more advanced, you could do knee tucks. This is great for your core strength. And then the L-sit would be the final step. Great for improving your core strength and grip strength, which will help with pull-ups. If you're at the gym and you want a little bit more structure into your pull-up workout, what you can do is this rep scheme. So let's say I can do 8 reps in one max set. If I give it all, I can do 8 reps. I'll take that number and take 3 off. So I'll be aiming for 5 reps. I'll do those 5 reps, but do 3 sets of 5. If I can complete all 5 reps successfully for those 3 sets, I'll then move it up to 3 sets of 6 next workout, okay? So here, I'm gonna do a set of 5. Maybe rest for 2 or 3 minutes, and then do another set of 5. Now last but certainly not least, I wanna show you how I do pull-ups while I'm traveling. And I have these dual dynamic handles. They're not attached to anything right now, but they come with handles and rings. These are just the clamps. They fit on your door frame or any door, just like that. Clamp them on. You can easily move them in or out and get your reps in. So there you have it, guys. Even when you're traveling, you got these handles, no excuses not to do your couple pull-ups a day. Start doing those more frequently, you're gonna become a pull-up master in no time.